another stream. Today I'm both live on uh, Twitch and YouTube. I'm using a new software called, I'm sure it's in the, I don't see the watermark. Huh, that's odd. But anyway, I'm using this new software called Ecamm for Mac. And so far, I'm really digging it, man, how well it works. So yeah, it's been a real good deal. I'm still learning the software, but um, some of the capabilities it'll have over OBS is going to be pretty cool. Number one, meaning I don't. It's like with OBS, you have to go through a third party, another software to dual stream. This one here is just a touch of a button. I can decide which ones I want to do and which one I want to do or not want to do. And this will help my audience from both Twitch and YouTube. Because right now, before I've been live streaming on Twitch and then exporting it here. Now everyone will get it at the same time. So that's kind of cool. Um, so today we're going to look at today's events. I went ahead when I woke up. I saw that we had this one of these extra battle passes we could buy that unlocked everything. And went ahead and did it because that puts me really close to getting McCoy completely finished. I mean, not completely finished, but to tier 2. And I've only got, I'll probably get all this today, maybe. And I think there's a, let's go into the overflow and see if we get any more McCoy shards in it. No, that's the wrong one. Overflow. The events, not the, went in the wrong one. There's one with the officers. Where's the one with the events? Events. There we go. They've had all the way at the very back. Let's see what we get in the overflow. Do we get a McCoy? No, it looks like they're not going to give us any shards this time. Yeah, darn it. Well, anywho, let's get back to the game. Let's see what we need to do to get the battle pass today. Okay. Why did this get dragged over here? I gotta change this over. This needs to be down here with that. Or do I have this? Why do I have this on here twice? Okay. Let me go ahead and lower this. I'm still gonna learn. I'm still learning some stuff on it. Right now, I don't really know how to put the music on there yet. The way that the YouTube guy showed me the way he did it, I don't really like the way that he did it. So, um, probably won't do it that way. Let's see if I can make this window a little bit smaller. Okay. It'll give me a chance to make. I'm just doing some adjustments to the screen here. Let's see if it'll let me pull it a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay. Now we're good to go. So looks like we got Borg. I looked at it earlier. Yeah, Borg probes. Yeah, I wish it would do something that once you um, do the Talios mastery in the archives, you have no need for the probes. So the probes just stack up. So you gotta put my Talios on them. I'm gonna use it on the mining ship. We'll put it in that spot. Get our tally. Because anybody, I mean, it's not even being high level player as I am, but anybody who used it to mastery, which you definitely that's probably one of the first ones you want to do. Doesn't need this anymore. Now they're just piling loot in the game that you could never spend. So they need to come up with some new stuff. Okay, why? Well, I'll push lower deck instead of group. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put Himmer right there. And where's Ahura? There she is. I don't need E-data down there. I can leave land. I don't need that guy. I don't need that guy. We'll just fill it up with stats. We can put him in there. I don't know how he was that good of a defensive officer, but I guess he is. Okay, let's see. We need another defense. Okay, that's fine. Let's put mud in there. There we go. That looks pretty decent. Now, if you haven't completed this, you would definitely want to put this dude in here that gives you bonus loot. You might want to, like, if I was going to do this for real and I didn't have the thing go, I would definitely put him in there and the doctor below to get extra loot. But since I don't need that loot, that would be just piling on stuff that I don't need, so I'm not going to do it. But if you're a player that you haven't, what I'm talking about here is the archives building. Let's go in here. In case you don't know, in the archives building, it has the capabilities of ending the loops for these ships. And you see the ones I got was the Vidar, the Devar Talios, Voyager, and the Monavine. Now, to me, the two most important ones to get done is the Tally and the Monavine. The Monavine I would do first, and then the Talios, and the rest of them are okay. By the time we got this, I was long done with the Voyager loop, and you have to be done with this loop before you can build this ship. So I went ahead and got rid of it, and also did the amalgam. Um, but the Devar, the Fresca or whatever, Fisca or whatever, however you say that, um, I don't engage with that loop. I've been done with that one for a long time. The same thing with the Botany Bay. To me, it's because these excess deal that you get every day, you can use to get officers out of that deal here. Why does it keep putting me in? I want to see what's going on in my alliance. It keeps switching over to Galaxy Chat. I don't know why it's been doing that here lately because I never. I got too many morons on my server that I don't like to put it in um, Galaxy chat because there's guys that just sit there and write crap on. Hey, Taco, this is my new setup here. I'm doing both live on YouTube and Twitch. It's a new software just made for the Mac. And I experimented it with. I downloaded it last night and experimented it late last night on it, and I kind of like it. The problem I was having with OBS is I was having to reload my stuff all the time. Um, my volumes levels will never stay the same, even though I didn't change anything on my end, and a couple other little things. Let's see what we got here. See, the only problem with this new thing, they've yet to put an officer in this requisition thing that I need. Let's do the auto assign and see who it puts there. Nah, we're not gonna put, and it's not even 100%. So you have to be careful about that with this auto assign. What it's doing is giving you the best crit chance possible, but you got to be successful on the mission. And these are, you say, well, you got 95%, 96% chance to succeed. But what I've found, even if you got 99% chance you succeed, um, most of the time it doesn't work out too good for you. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go use a filter, officers with traits, and I'm going to go through here and see if I can find somebody I'm okay with sending on this mission. Okay, that one only gave me. Okay, let's do the auto assign again. This is my crystal mining um, guy. I really don't want him out there. What I might do is, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna skip this one. I'm gonna skip it. Like I said, I already have Chapel tiered out. I'd love to have these medallions, and the gas, but I'm not gonna send officers out that I need every day. That ain't happening. All right, let's go into what keeps. Let's go into. We got my Vidar, my tally set up, and here's the space right here. I'm gonna go in the 58 space because that's as high as one they got. I wish Scopely would come out with a higher system because my tally kills these probes like you've never seen. Okay, why does it keep putting this notepad thing up? It gets stuck in my corner right there. I don't know if you can see that. I tell it to not put it in the dock, but it does it anyway. It's some kind of weird thing. I know these guys, when they see me come in here, that they probably worry I'm going to come and pop them OPC, but on our server, unless you're at war, you really can't hit people in a token type space. But they're used to me. When they see my ship, they know they need to light out. I am these on these days off that I have for my new job. I don't get a chance to crash as many of the defenses. Like today, Tuesday, they don't have defenses, or I'd be doing that all day today. So it doesn't take very long to finish this battle pass in here. I just feeding my queue and then letting it do its thing. Let's see, let's find us another group. But between that new battle pass they had in the store, they got a Memorial Day where they give you a bonus one for $19. Is definitely worth. If you're a person, to me, it's definitely worth the $19 just you get for the officer's charge you're going to get in there. Not to even mention the those choice tokens. Okay, I thought I was done with it. I got one more milestone. Wonder why would this dude use the Galaxy Quest ship in here? Yeah, that guy just lit out. Yes, I have used a ship. I think it was when we were in war. I went in here and took one of my battleships in here. But if you're not at war, I don't know why you would do it. And he's high enough player. He's got a Talios thing. I know for sure. Like if you're like in the 40s, or I think it's the 40s where you can unlock it. It's a worthwhile ship. It's a decent warship, number one, and it specializes in this. This is what its whole deal. But what's so awesome about it is the cargo bay. It was like the perfect OPC mining hunter. Back in the day when that was profitable for me, I used to do it every morning. I would go up into space and just load up. I rarely ever mind, except for the daily type thing. But in G6 space, you can only do it with a G6 ship. And the exchange for the raw material you would get to the repairs you'd have to make on your ship, they, you're, it would not, you would not gain anything by it. So a bunch of the schemers on my deal all made like this gentleman's agreement that they're not gonna hit people in 6-star space. Well, I told them, well, I don't agree with that. I said, right now it's not profitable for me to hunt OPC miners in that space. And now that I'm getting to the point where I don't need anything, I may go back on that just because to me it's not worth me paying the repair bill for because the best because on these ships right here the cargo bay is so small. You know, it's small. It's not. I mean, you'd have to find somebody that's like a million over, and so I'd have to use a mining ship to kill another mining ship. So there's that. Whoops. What happened there? Why does it not let me acquire that target? I think I'm done anyway. Huh. I guess today wasn't enough. They didn't give us enough points to hit the next milestone. Let's see. Yeah, they do that for some reason where it's off just a little bit. I don't know why. It's easy enough to figure out, uh, put another row or something in there if they need to or whatever, but it's easy enough to figure out where you do one every day and you get one or two of them. But anyway, so it looks like we didn't get them. We didn't have enough in the battle pass to get the second to last one. Okay, so we're done with the battle pass. Let's see what's in this one. Let's see if there's anything new. No. And through this is like a research thing. You see, I'm really close to finishing, but there's no research in there that I want to do right now that's pressing. Let's see what's in the evolving enemies today. More of the augment, which that's no problem. I was planning on grinding those anyway. Let's see what else we got in here. So there is another mission in here. Where's it at? Oh yeah, cons challenges. Okay, let's see what it is. Defeat Gorn Hunters with James Kirk Pella. Okay, we can do that. We need what would McCoy, Neelix, and Chapel below deck. Okay. Let's send this back. We're going to put the Junker in its place, and we're going to take the Junker up into Gorn space. Wish they would just let you do anyone, because I would definitely use my loot crew to get as much loot as possible. I'm still going to stick the Doctor below to help me out. Okay, we're almost back. Let's go locate. Okay, we'll see. I had 21 seconds worth of repair. So yeah, they need to put a few new higher systems and maybe a new mechanic, because nobody's going to be able to use any of the loot that you got pretty soon. Okay, what's the warp range on this bad boy? It's got a huge cargo hold too, and it's a little bit more powerful than my Junker. Okay, let's see. All right, so we got Strange New World Pike on here already, and we need. Let's go. We need. I think he said need Pella. Pella should come up. Well, I didn't push group. Pella, Chapel below. I think it was Mabinga was the other one. We'll double check on that. Neelix. We'll go below deck. It'll be easier to find that way. Below deck. There he is. Let's see. I can't remember who the third person was. We'll go back to the thing. All right. Let's go back to the deal and see what the description again. Why am I? You could go up there anyone and score, but you get bonus points for having those particular officers. You see. So to finish it the quickest possible, you probably need to do that. Oh, I need Sam Kirk on the other side. Thought it was Babinga, but it's James Kirk. Oh, I thought it was, yeah, James, the Kirk brothers with Pella, and McCoy is the other one. Okay, almost, let's see. The Kirk brothers. I thought it was Pike and one of them. Okay, there. Let's go. Sam Kirk. And we'll switch those two. And McCoy. It don't really matter which one of these I put him over the top of. Let's get the Doc. Okay. Now let's go up here in Gorn space and see how. We'll see what kind of warp range is. I think it's got a pretty damn good warp range. Yeah, I'll probably be able to go into the 70 system. We'll see if we can kill the 70s. This will be something I haven't tried before, guys. No, he can't go there. He can go in the 68s. I can send my cube to the 71, but the way this scores is it doesn't score on the system. It scores on the officers that you have in the ship. So it doesn't really matter. I could go the lowest Gorn system possible. But for me, I want the loot because I needed it for. I used the last of one of the loots today, so I was gonna have to make this run, even though, um, anyway, without the stupid event to keep that refinery full. And this was another Mr. Tiger creation where you basically got to make it's sort of like it's kind of like the precursor of the current arc. To keep your refinery full and be able to take pulls, you're gonna have to make two runs, one with a regular ship and one with the Gorn gimmick ship. And the problem with the Gorn gimmick ship is I have mine all the way up to tier 9, and I think it's tier 9 or tier 10. Let's find it. I could have used the Gorn ship, but that's not the loot I need. I need this loot. Usually it's the other way around, but um okay, mine is tier 10 and I can't get here yet. And I'm not even my warp range is not even close. I can't sacrifice some hull damage and put Grush there because it wouldn't help me. So I'm at tier 10 and I'm not even sniffing this 61 system. Once I get to the 61 system, then maybe I can get away with only using the Gorn ship. But until then, I don't know. We're gonna try this. I don't know how powerful these are compared to this ship, but those hostiles that this one kills is a lot more stronger than okay. And I had no hull damage whatsoever, so my suspicions were dead on. So what I would do if I wasn't doing for the event and had to have certain ones, my I would have the Picard, E Data, and Rachel Garrett. That's the way I would go with this if it didn't make me have this one particular thing, so that way I could load it up with loot. This was one of the things I was hinting on. I said this is one of the reasons why I seen a friend of mine who's a 70 player go up into the Mirrorverse and using the Remnant to um, grind up there. And what the great thing about the about this little ship here is it's got a like the Tally, it's got a huge cargo hold. You could use this to OPC hunt in regular space. I don't think it would help you in 6-star space, but um, this would be an awesome ship to do it because it's even a lot stronger than your Talio as far as power goes. Um, so yeah, man, I'm sure not. Think let's look and see what I'm scoring up here. Okay, I'm getting 42 for everyone, or 41. So I got the first one. Let's go ahead and just queue these up. Let it go to town. And the cool thing about it is that they're not, these gimmick ships by and large aren't expensive ships to upgrade. I mean, to repair. It's not like if I brought my cube in here and I'm using Sigma Tri to it. And I bet the cube's pretty cheap far as 6G ships go, you know. But still, it's kind of just the way it goes, you know. Yeah, I'm looking soon to I saw some neat stuff in there. I'm gonna have to watch some more YouTube videos and learn how to add some things. But this deal, I think it's because it's an Apple product. It's gonna be a lot more easier to uh, put some neat features in with this thing. Okay, I see, is it stuck? No. That's the one bad thing about this artifact. It gets stuck all the time. You'll be sitting here waiting to queue another hostile, and it never does. And you look over there, and it's frozen. I think it doesn't like when you're in a system like this one where other people are grinding. If one of them actually hits one of the ones you've got toggled, it doesn't do it all the time, but that's my guess of why it freezes up like it does. And we do have the event for uh, the accused trials. But I like to do that. I like to do that later in the night because all my hostiles count for one. Because I'm going to be doing a lot of hostiles, so I might get a couple of those milestones without having to use my bells. And if you're a new player and you don't know what I'm talking about, there is when you go into Q's trials, it doesn't really matter which one I pick. Well, these little bells here, um, see, I got 97, so that's enough for 3 starts. Plus, once I do that, I'll have a deal where I can pull 80 more out of the refinery. But still, I don't want to use them now. I'm gonna wait until a little bit later, see if I can hit a couple of milestones doing what I'm gonna do anyway. So I don't have to use as many to finish the game, the finish not the game, but the event. Man, I'm still tired. I don't know why. Yeah, when I got Peacock, I've been going back watching Law and Order. I haven't watched some Law and Order in a long while. All three of them, SVU and organized crime, the one with Stabler. I always loved Stabler was always my favorite of all those ones, you know. And but yeah, I mean I kind of like the original Law and Order thing when they revamped it and put new people in it. I kind of like it now, especially now that they got Mara Turney in there as in there. I always loved her from News Radio and some stuff that she did before. What's in the event store that I can I'm trying to see if there's something I just toggled. Oh, I think it's this. I'll earn some of these. To me, there's not much in the store that I want. I've been using it for cons, uh, whatchamacallit, skill points, even though the rate that you change is ridiculous. But I don't want a skin, and the two things I would put in there that the exchange rate are horrible. A lot of people are using it to buy those skins for the ships. Like, are you gonna put one of these little cartoon looking skins on this ship? Hell no. This is one of the coolest looking ships in the game. Rotarian's one of my favorite ship in the game. Sure, not gonna put it on that. I'm not gonna do it on the Romulan battleship either, because that was maybe the most badass looking ship in the game. I got the Gorn ship on it in its splot right now, but look at that. So you're gonna put one of these stupid ass. Let's find it. Let's go in the event store. So you're going to tell me. I think it gives you a little bit of a bonus, but you're gonna put this on top of the Kretschna or the Rotaran. Forget that crap. Or they have one this stupid looking thing on top of that ship. Come on, give me a freaking break. But there are dudes who they gotta have this kind of stupid shit, and they'll go in there and ruin a really good looking ship. See if we finish this thing yet. No, we still got some. I'm taking some hull damage now. I need to kind of watch and take only battleships. I wasn't paying attention. I was just going hostile. I was going against the battle triangle. But the cool thing about doing this ship right here, like I said, you get a big. It's not going to matter with this run because I don't have a loot crew in it, but now I know I can do it. And then probably when I upgrade it, tear it completely out, I'll be able to go in the 70 space with it. I wonder how good this is going to be with invasions. I mean, the Junker works great in invasions. I've already done it before already. But this one's a little bit more powerful ship than the Junker. I think it's 2,400 that we need to get that last milestone. All right, I gotta find some more battleships. And he dude's popping battleships. He doesn't know what he's doing. Because he's in a battleship. He needs to be hitting these. Like in my cube, it doesn't really matter. It's so strong that it doesn't. These are like, I might as well be hitting those uh, hostiles in the space where a dock, and like in a 3 system or something. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, we're done, I think. We need to go into regular events. Let's go. It's in cons challengers. And we are done. We'll send it back. I think finish the ones I got toggled. And that should be it. Recall. And let's see. It also does poor drops too. Like I only got 7 out of all those. This is my least. Right now, this is probably my least favorite loop or grind right now. Is this one? Because you'll look at my ship. I have 2 different types of loot, and look, I got like 828,000 of the volatile isomatter and only 5,200 of the apex. And that's why you have to, because the Gorn ship, it goes heavy on this one and light on that one. So what you end up having to do is you have to make, if you're gonna keep this refinery full of both of the loot, you're gonna have to do that. Like this tonight today, I didn't have enough of it to make this. I got a bunch of it coming now, but I didn't have enough to make pulls in here. Did enough for my officer pool, but not for these 2. Now, for what you get in here, these are decent. They're not great, but they're decent. But like in this one here, on my tier 10 eviscerator, I only get common parts. Well, the thing is with common parts, if I don't have enough of them to do, and I'll see if we got one that I can show you an example. I doubt I do, because I've got a bunch of common parts. So what I would do up here, we'll just say, like, see, the one I need is rare, and that's the same thing with my Kretschner too. That's why when somebody asked me why I got both 2 of these, and I said, well, now that I'm in rare hell, I can go over here and during the weekend I can go over here and have something to upgrade. See, right now I can make almost all any upgrade I want, and it's eating up those commons, and I need commons for the other one too. But I probably will look and see where we are on Saturday morning. My preference is always going to be the big ship, and I only got 3 more upgrades for it. But you can see it needs the commons. here, and it also needs the rare. He needs both, and it needs tons of freaking crystal and uh, you know. So yeah. So there, but it looks you see now I've got it because now I'm just this is the part of the probably the last tier two is the first deal where you're starting to dip into these rares. So I've had all this time to store these up. But you can see once I make this pull, I'm not going to have enough rare parts to do that one. Probably won't have enough common because of how many it takes, 86,000. But also what this does with that common, it puts you out of any pack range. Because if you go, I won't be able to show you with the interceptor, but I can show you with explorer or battleship because I don't have any of those packs in the store because I've already used them. In fact, I used them the week before last, and they still haven't put any new ones in. Uh, let's go to the explorer. So we go down here and we look at the parts. And let's go. Where's the G6? Okay, you get 26,000 parts. So what that would, but if you get a decent amount of rare. But if I wanted to today, for some reason I had to make that deal, I'd have to spend like $300 to make an upgrade in that on that ship. And I'm not gonna spend that kind of dough on it. I'll just have to save it up. May end up using it, upgrading this ship during this according to what it's gonna take. If it's taking see as long as it's not taking crystal. See now this one takes crystal, that's why I haven't done it. The ones that don't take crystal, I can sit there and pop those once I'll probably get enough to make at least one of these upgrades from just pulls and whatever events they have because they'll have a little bit of rare in it, and those are pretty low still. And you can see it starts about tier 6. I was a little bit thought it started a little bit later, but you can start seeing a little bit of rare uses. And the reason why that one's low is because this ship takes the same stuff that your buildings do. The ones inside the station, the ones outside the station, all take the stuff that your interceptor and your excuse me, and your explorer. Guys, I got a yawn, man. Even though I slept pretty good last night. All right, so let's go ahead and repair this ship, and we'll get rid of it. And okay, let's put my ship back on there that goes in that slot. And we'll put his crew on there. Okay. Now this is going to be tricky here. I'm not going to put her or her because this is not a battleship. So now I need to go group. And I've got to find put start Q there. And got to find a PvP officer I can stick in there. I wish they would have like on these filters. They got a bunch of filters. I wish you could put it had burning, uh, hull breach, and morale, so you could sit there and find officers that you could substitute. Now, what I'm going to do, I think what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to go ahead and go power. I know who I'm going to put there. Actually, we're going to put Lorca there. Or you know what we could do? Take Q out of there. And we put oh, there he is, Marcus there. We got to get a defense officer to replace him though now. We can put him there until we get an armada. I don't know how good that crew is, but it's one. It is one that you could use. These are good side officers. Okay, so now we need to go get into the Rotaran. I'm not the Rotaran, but the uh, Krechna. We need to get. Let's see who we're missing here. Oh, we're missing Vial. No, there she is. Who are we missing? We're missing somebody. Let's see. Oh, Chapel. Yeah, pretty soon I'm going to be able to switch it over to where I'm just going for loot. But right now, I need to hit up as hard as I can hit up. I mean, effectively grind, which to me is the 68 system. Because I'm still working on getting enough of this loot to. And I'm not quite halfway there. You get about, I want to say like 6,000 every run. So I'm going to have to make almost 10 runs total, but that's helping my reputation too. But I don't, unless they add something to the game for exile, because right now the only perk of getting exile is something I already got, and one of the things already is this stupid hailing frequency thing here, right here. There's so many people that do this shit just for these stupid icons, man, and frames and avatars. Meaningless like crap that uh okay, I went to sleep last night. I didn't make a pull. This one like I think you make a pull every 4 hours with this thing. Let's see. Yeah. So that helped just then how much it did. But see what I have to do is I have to go into space where I'll go earn enough of this loot. In the last run, I didn't earn enough to make a full pull here. And hit this mission, do this mission, and then it gives me another loot that, where's it at? That I use in here, these little insignia things, and it lets me make pulls here to get loot. So basically, what I get is about 6,000. So I get this one here, which will give me 10, and so that'll give me 10 chests. That gives me 50,000, 5,000, and then you get like 6 chests after that. You usually make one, and one on it, and it gives you about 6,000 of those and those little badge things that you need to upgrade. It both you have to use these badge things both to get uh like shards for the officer and oops, I pushed the wrong button. Let's go. So to get the officer shards, you use the same materials. So I want to see if I can tear him out. But also what that's doing too, again, if we go into the faction store, you saw that reputation I got from the pools, but I'm also getting it from the hostels. So you can see other day when I was in here, I was here, last couple of days grinding to get upgrade him, because the same thing, use these chests to get officer shards, like right there. It says you got like 20. I could probably make killing on that, but right now, but see, the problem is I got to get him up past 4, and I don't even want to know what we're gonna have to get that last tier done. Don't even want to know. But what I've heard, that they didn't realize people would be able to tier him up as fast, because I basically did it in 2 days. I mean, all day yesterday, I've been trying to earn enough of that loot to take him to. But basically, in the first night, I got him up to tier 4. But then yesterday, I spent all day trying to get enough loot to, to finish tier 4 with him. But anywho, all right, so let's get up there and get busy. Where I'm going here in this augment space, I can hit about 120 of them. That's what I've been averaging. I've got as much as. Why does it keep putting me in damn a lot? Because I want to see my launch chance in case they start doing armadas or something. Because I need to go sometime today. I need to go get some. I've got to do that rare G6 solo, and I've got to do some rare Zindi, because I've got pulls in both of those stores, and I don't have loot to make a pull right now. See, that's what's wrong about this whole system. There's a guy they're not able to do a 57, and two of the smaller players. I'm reading this on their deal. If it was up to me, if we had players that are that low, they wouldn't be in the alliance. They'd have to go somewhere else until they got hired ops. I definitely would like to have like a tier 1 alliance, sort of like the Navy SEALs, where you got your regular Navy SEAL, then you got your SEAL Team 6 guys. That's what they call the tier 1. That's what I would like to form on this server, but there are too many guys that are in a little that are in alliances that they enjoy the hero worship of the lower players. That'll never happen. I've tried a couple of times when I went solo to start recruiting people to do that, but they're a lot of them. It's either that or they're too wrapped up with stuff in the game that doesn't matter. Let's see what's going on here. Man, it seems like it takes. Well, I know it's only a 3 minute ride from there. It seems like it takes a lot longer than that when you're waiting for it to go to the system. I wish all of them had the cube's ability where you could just jump. But I would run out of jump juice at as many times as I've hit these systems in the last couple of days. I would not have the jump juice to come up here using it. So I guess there's that. Okay, now I got to look for the. There's the loot ship. Let's go get. Man, I've had some real hope my luck today's better. It's supposed to be like a 3 in 10 chance that it has a go home cannon that kills you on the first before you even do anything with it. Okay. The reason I'm doing that is it's got heavy rep, heavy amount of loot. I mean, I got more loot from that one hit than I think I would get the whole day, all the grind I do here. Okay, I got to watch out. There's that. Oh, come on, man. Don't want that. There we go. Okay, now we're going to go here, attack, recall, and stop. And it turns him off. And you have to do that because this one does have a go home cannon that 99, I mean, not 99, 90% of the time you die. And I can tell you since I've done this, there's only one time I've ever survived. And that was by accident. It was because when the game was broke, we were having all those issues a couple of weeks ago during the Arc launch. It was freezing on me. The game was freezing on me when it was entering the system, and by the time, and the game was loading really, really slow. And by the time had to reboot the game, the time I got in here, I was already dead. And then the one time I looked on it, and I actually survived one of them. It was the second one that came in and killed me. Yeah, that's how slow the game was going. It was so slow that the two of those attackers had time to come and get me. And the sad thing is I couldn't see how much loot it gives you. I know it gives you a little bit more than the doesn't give you enough, put it that way, for you to even think about trying to hunt those. Didn't like these ones I just hit where it gives me bukus of loot. Like if I was using a lesser ship, I would not have hesitate on this one's a lot was a little bit that's a little bit expensive chasing those with this ship. But the thing on that one is the rep gain that you get from them because you get like a regular one, you get about 30 uh 3400 and I think it's like 60,000 or something crazy on the other ones on those loot ships. plus all the good stuff that you get in there. Where else did I hit? Milestone. Gosh. So yeah, see, I've already hit one of the milestones without using those bells right now. And all the grinds that we have going on right now. And I'll probably maybe hit the next one too. Because I'm not even halfway on getting that Jocko thing. You know. Who's this? Man, I don't know. I don't know if he's searching for that loot ship or he's gonna try to grind in here. Let's see. Two. Let's see, he's hit two of them. Let's see how his hull looks. He's taking major hull damage. He might get 10 of them in here. If he would have just dropped to the lower system, he could probably hit 60 or 70 of them. Let's see what crew he's using. Okay, that's not a bad crew. Usually these dudes have like crazy bad crews. But he's got the best officer that you would put up that not on the deck, like Giorgio. She's got Apex Shred, and that's what you need for these. And I've got her on top, and I've got that Quasi guy that has Apex Shred in the bottom. That's why I can hit 100 of these. Like when I use my regular PVE crew, I can only do 40. Let's see, he's probably almost done. Yeah. I mean, as far as long as that journey is to go and repair and come back, I don't think it's worth coming up here. Plus, you definitely would offset any kind of loot gain you would gain from coming up here than going down there and hitting many more of these targets. It's not about always how high you can hit. Sometimes you have to say, okay, man, I take too much. That's when I'm not in the 70 system. What's he doing? What's he floating for? Like, it's not like he's gonna gain hull. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's even gonna gain hull. See, mine's like double the size of his. And I wouldn't take it up here to grind. I'd be in that 66 system down below. Yeah, I had an argument. I got one of my YouTube followers. Was when we were talking about rep. When I was telling him that I think it was something in my video. I said, well, I can do these, but I'm here because I can hit like 3 times as many hostiles as I would up there. And you have to take that in total picture, rep gain. You know, if the difference between these hostiles were huge, what you have to do is just make runs on both and then compare. But I've done this enough now from taking all three of my factions all the way up to 500 billion. I know a little bit of thing about uh, hostile grinding for rep and for loot. I don't know why he's sitting here like this. It's not like he's gaining and going to gain any whole health. See what could happen if he's OPC, which I don't think he is. He didn't hit enough of them. And if he was OPC, some dude could come up there and snipe him. Which is something I'm probably going to start doing soon. Is just go in these systems and hunt guys that are OPC. Then I won't have to grind. But right now I need the reputation more than I do the loot. And also need these drops. These drops right now, that and the reputation are more important than the loot that I'm getting right now. Because the drops is where I get the loot for those missions that I need to get the loot where I can tear that guy up. So any loot that I get here is gravy. Because that's not what I'm shooting for. I'm shooting for drop boxes. And it does weigh heavier. The higher system you are, the better drop box you get as far as loot goes. But it's not, there's not a big enough difference between 68 and 70 that I would want to go up there and hit only 370 hostiles. You know, that's a bit, and that would be luck. Because there was few, all right, we got evolving. I got 3 more shards of that guy. Yeah, I was really hoping when I did that extra battle pass, it would give me enough to take McCoy up to tier 2. I got to look and see if there's any other event I think there's another event that does give you McCoy uh, shards. Is it the way team? Maybe. No, that gives you who. One of these it did have McCoy. Yeah, I hate the way they do. They do these right next to each other. Where I mean, the only way you could really do anything with it is biome. There's no. Yeah, there's. I think I got all the McCoy shards I can get in the gameplay. Dang it! I really didn't want to buy a McCoy pack. Let's see. The good thing about when I do this, I can also see how close I am to tearing him up. Guess it was maybe in limited time. Now, where is the McCoy packs? Maybe I didn't go far enough back. Dang, they buried him. You buy the $49 one, I get 38. That gets me there. But what I'm wondering, if I spend the $100, will that give me enough to take him to tier 3? I wish I knew how many shards it took. Because they vary. I'm believing it's going to be over 100 for the next one. Most of them are. Let's look at it. We'll go over here and look at some of these other ones I've got. It says I got an upgrade of one. What is this? Uh, Man, I wish we could. I wish I could get rid of the thing for all these. Because it tells me I need got 38 upgrades if you look at it. Well, none of those are ones that are okay. Let's do level. Yeah, we're on the level. So like most of them are either gonna the rare is gonna take 115. Okay, I was right. So even if I bought the $100 one, I wouldn't have enough to tear him up to 3. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna wait to the very end, see if there's anything that we get a chance to get more of those sharp 3. But I will buy that. I think I will buy that $49 pack just to get him to tier 2. And that's not too bad. But I would love to do it without paying a dime, though. Through gameplay. That's the best way. I mean, there are guys in the game that we have no hesitation of just paying like $500 and tearing him completely out. I don't. Number one, I don't think he's that good an officer to spend the money like that. And now, 2 officers that I did do that to were, to me, 2 of the best rare officers in the game. Nurse Chapel and E Data. I took them to tier 4. Like almost day 1 that they were in the store because I saw the potential of how great officers those would be for, and they are. They're 2 of the best PVE officers in the game. Her lower deck and him on the side. I mean, he doesn't even have to have synergy. Like, he's in every main crew. This is the only crew that he's not in, just because he has no captain ability. If he had a captain ability, I might be using him instead of Janeway. But I need those the 2 officers I have on the side. I've got that Anorex guy who gives me a big Apex barrier boost. I got Giorgio on the side that gives me Apex Shred. And I got Quasi down below that gives me Apex Shred. That's why I'm hitting. I can go up here and hit like 120 of these. The biggest thing, what you do when you're looking at these hostiles, look at their abilities. And you can see right here, he's got isolitic damage. What you could put down there to help you with that is you could put an officer like Pella that works both on players and non-players. That was a thing that it doesn't say that on her description, but I watched. I think it was on DJ's stream where they were testing her, and then she worked against both players and hostiles. So you could stick her below deck to help you with the damage, and then the other ability that this thing, let's find another one, has is this. This is the one, the Apex Barrier. This ship increases Apex Barrier by 5,000. Well, I happen to have 2 officers that has Apex Shred, which goes through the apex barrier. Now, would this crew work on hostiles that don't have apex? I don't think they'd be as effective as other crews. Because if it doesn't have apex barrier, Giorgio's ability doesn't really help that much. Now, Interx does because it gives you an extra barrier for your ship. But I don't think the Giorgio or Quasi would be that like a regular faction hostile that you don't have doesn't have isolytic or uh, apex barrier on it. Then you would change your officers on the bridge and below deck. That's the thing about it. People got really lazy in the game and putting like the OG like Pike, Monroe, Chin, and everything, and they worked on all the hostiles. It isn't like that in the game anymore because they all have different stuff. Like when they came out with the Zindi, where we're sitting there building all this uh, isolytic. I think it was, I don't know if it was isolytic. I can't remember what it was, but we had to end up buying a prime so we could use the officers that we had been working on for so long because it worked against us, and people had to use like some old school officers in the beginning until we got the favor in the store done and the prime, which I did buy because I saw that. No, I knew they were going to start putting that into PvP too. So it wasn't going to be just those hostiles. They were going to start giving us. Let's go into that Zindi. We'll go into the X-Borg here. I couldn't remember what it's called. Critical floor. So we've been getting all these officers building up our crit damage. So what they did is they made these Zindi hostiles use the crit damage against us. So we had to buy this critical damage floor. To do that, there was this, then there's also a prime that does the same thing, so they stacked. Oh, I gotta pull for here. See if we get Doc or 709. We got a doctor. That's good. But you go in here and you look at the hostel and try to understand what they've done with these things. And these two hostels, or this hostel here, is using both of the latest damage stuff against the oscillatic damage and also the apex barrier. Where before we had apex barrier and these hostels didn't. I think it might be another one that has it too, but like those ones and those new surveys in that new 70 system they had where you basically got to have a tiered out epic ship or board cube to kill them. I was looking at some of the crews that some of the people, the successful guys, did with it with their screenshots. And it's pretty interesting. But the thing you don't see in those, did he use any, uh, any exo here? Was he using Lorca's fist? And was he double or triple buffed to kill him? We couldn't see that. Now, my friend who's the second 70 on this server, he's got like I don't know if he has is either a tier 16 or a tier 17 Kretschna. He was able to kill he said he was able to kill 3 on one hole and finish the event. But it took him multiple tries to figure out the right crew to put in there. And when I took my tier 13 up there and tried it and saw how far away from I tried a couple of different crews. I tried the Kurt Brother crew. Then I actually tried this crew because I saw that it had some of the same properties as the Go Home Cannon guy. And I tried this crew on it. Didn't even get a shot off. You die just about the same as you do against these. Um, right now, my ship's just not strong enough. Next event, I'll try what. There's another crew I do want to try. You can see I got a little bit less than a half a hole, and I've already got 70 of them. So I will probably get over the 120 mark again, and it's weird how it varies. But it seems like the average one I've been getting is about 122. But every once in a while I'll get a 126. So then there'll be times where I only get 112. I don't. Let's see how I'm doing reputation wise too, because you get some decent boost in rep going up here. Yeah, I'm gonna be when I get done. By the time I get done doing this guy, I'm gonna be really close to being done with the reputation in this thing. And I thought by looking at this early on, it would be it was gonna take a long time to do it, just because how what little points you get by killing these. Because you think about this is the second highest level in the game, and I'm only getting 3,400 each time I kill one of these. Because the thing about it, I don't think any of the reputation boost ones that we do have, most of the ones that I've looked on there, the ones I know like Kim and stuff like that, they all say FKR, meaning the faction, the three main factions. So none of those officers are going to boost your uh, reputation on this. We can look at that real quick. Let's see if there's a filter on here. There might be. Let's go open up one of my other ships. Let's go officers. We'll see if they have a reputation filter in here. Loot rewards. Okay, that will work. That'll give us the same thing. Let's see. Let's go find one that. Okay, no, no, it's not. Crap. I'm sitting there making sure there's no way I can kind of. Yeah, let's go ahead and reset that. Below deck is a little bit easier to find them. You got your. I believe this guy does a loot boost. See right there. But you see again, right there. Uh, I know Freeman does, but I'm pretty sure it labels FKR on it as well. And Henry Kim. It doesn't say that on there, but you see the symbols. So I doubt that it would cross over into other. Now I'm wondering like officers like the doctor and the ones that give you loot boosts. I'm wondering if that the reputation counts with it. I've had people in channels saying it does, but like I said, it. I'm thinking that they're talking most of the time the stuff that, but it definitely. See, I don't think they have an Exicon in here that is just a general loot boost. It's all reputation for Federation, Romulan, or Klingon. There's now if you had those, you had the one that was just a general loot. I mean, general reputation boost, and put it in here and make it a little bit easier. Now they sold a Prime. Let's see, where is it at? I'm trying to think where in the it was put in the galaxy tree. I think they. I remember. Trying to see if I can find it. It's gonna be hard to find now. It's supposed to be after an ore. I don't think it was this far back. Pretty sure it was in this one though. Yeah, no, it wasn't that far back. Augment, here we are. Increases reputation drop by augment hostiles and unlocks a free claim. Supposed to boost it by 300%, but that's Scopely math 300%. That might be really 50. Instead of giving me 3,400, it might only give me like 3,800. Because I don't know how they do their math, but sometimes it just like there was there was an artifact in the store that they advertised for the cutting beam that was supposed to boost your cutting beam 1,000,000 times stronger than what it is from the lock open from tier 1. So I was just so frustrated. I was having to go to two systems, one to charge the damn thing and one to kill. So I went ahead and bought the artifact, and I found out their million times stronger beam was not even strong enough to knock a knock out a one one system higher hostile. Like if I could only get 38s, it didn't help me get 39s. It was still too weak. Then they came out with two primes that actually did what the artifact should have done. I was angry. I mean, I got close to getting banned in on the Discord because I was so angry that they totally ripped this off. Because I'm like, well, how in the so then one of the community managers, well, you got to take it up to tier 7 before you're able to hit a hostile higher. And I said, well, how the hell does that make any sense? Yeah, I was close. I got that. That's the only time I really ever lost. Most of these guys do it all the time, but they advertise something to be a million times stronger, a million times stronger, or it might have even been 10 million. It was some ridiculous amount of number, and and it didn't even kill one level higher a hostile, not even one. So when you see these efficiencies and all this stuff, a lot of them don't stack. If you buy one, say you've got, say you on the table, you've got enough research and of primes done, you got, let's say, a 50% efficiency already, and you buy a new prime that's supposed to help you out that way. A lot of times these primes don't stack over the regular research that you got. So when you buy something, sometimes you don't see any difference. That's because you were already there. That's something they don't tell you a lot of times. Because when I found that out for the first time was uh, during that. I always thought the outlaw or the Stella loop was a piece of garbage from day one of starting the game. I mean, they make you engage with it early on through some of the missions and stuff, so you got to engage with it some. And in your Ops 30s and stuff, you need to do um, those missions. Not missions, but you need to engage with those hostiles so you can compete in some of the events. And so I would just use my D4. I wouldn't even use my damn Stella. I mean, my Stella stayed at like tier 6 forever. And then one day, the schemers on my server decided they were gonna make this mega alliance thing where because they were so sure we were gonna merge in the next month or two, which didn't happen. Didn't happen until like almost a year and a half later. But that that really killed our alliance because we lost a lot of momentum, and some of our more aggressive players didn't want to play Star Trek Farmsville, and so we ended up losing some really good players, some players I really miss in the game a lot because they were just so damn bored because the people they wanted to attack and raid stuff with people that now got a freaking heart on them. And so I was bored in the game, and I've always heard all these guys, oh man, I need to do this stuff for the research. You know, they were telling me this stuff in the back right here. No, I need to go in. I need to go into the research. I went into the. So you go in here in this outlaw research. Well, back here they've got these big primes right here. I'm not primes, but research. See, now it says before it didn't have sigma on it, but now it does. But uh, so you're looking at 40%. So this is the one I needed the most because of when you get like in the 40s and 50s, the dilithium costs for the researcher are just freaking insane. And because you don't get at the same rate as you get these other ones. Like a million in dilithium is equal to a billion of this. You know what I'm saying? And so you get a research. Then you're like I said, you're in your 40s or your 40s or early 50s, and you're getting dilithium for 50 billion, and that's like getting one for 50 billion. Like especially when your server economies in billions, far as these go, and the stuff that you're having to research, uh, the research so 50 billion was an ungodly amount. So I was stuck on one research I couldn't do. And so I decided, well, what the hell? I'm going to go ahead. So I tiered up a Stella um, all the way up in about 2 days. 'Cause I had to make a couple of pulls in here. I had all this stuff piled up. And then I used the freebooter. Let's see. Use the freebooters to get the loot to make this pull on see this right here, this Stella Max, but you got to get your Stella maxed to get this kind of deal. So I was able to finish that thing without ever scrapping the Stella once, and I did it through here. And I've scored so many of this, I haven't done Apex in a long time, and I'm still making pulls. I'll even go in there and show you. um where is it at? Rogue, here we go. I'm getting there. I'm getting to the point where I'm gonna have to make either decide not to, probably not do them, but I haven't made a Apex run in over 6 months, and this will probably be my last pull right here. But you can see it just gives you so much loot that you don't have to do the loop. And I didn't have enough to make a pull. Okay, that's good. Okay, but anywho. So I go ahead, I get this. I'm thinking, okay, man, this is going to help me. This is going to help me so much. Now I get 30%, whatever the big percentage off it is. And it literally did nothing. Nothing. And then I contacted it was before I was on the Discord. And I finally got somebody to engage with me instead of getting those emails where they give you an email address that you can't respond to. And so I just started making tickets after tickets after tickets after tickets. And finally some guy, one of those guys, because they were having to respond to every ticket that I sent in. One guy finally gave me an email, and he gave me an email that I could engage with the text, so I wouldn't do that because that was driving them crazy. Because they were having to respond to every one of the new tickets that I made. And so he finally tells me, he goes, well, okay, the problem is you got this research, you've done this, and this. It all negates that research in that tree. That's like a year one a year one research. So you have to be aware of that when you're looking at these primes. You're looking at the research in some of those. Usually the newer ones, if you see one that's been in the store that you don't have, that you hadn't done, and you look, how you can tell is you look at the loot, the bonus loot you get in. If you get like, if you're a G6 player in this research that you've never done, that you just want to get it out of the way, and you see that you get G4 mats or G4 parts or whatever in it, most likely that prime's not going to help you, because you've already gotten some research in one of the trees, or uh, something, and unless it tells you it stacks. Someone will tell you it stacks on your research that you have now, and those are valuable ones. Now the ones that don't say it, you have to. A lot of times I'll ask. I'll go on Discord and ask, hey, is this? I've already got a bunch of this research done. Does it stack on my research I already done? And sometimes they'll say yes, and sometimes they'll tell me no. And that'll help you out to know whether it's worth buying or not. That's something they won't tell you usually. Yeah, you're right, Shadow. They exactly. And I mean, like, if you added up all the efficiencies of the mats and stuff, when you make an upgrade, you should be getting mats for free, because you got way more than 100% actual 100% worth of efficiencies in the game, but they don't add up that way. It's Scopely math. So when you see the prime, you have to really research it and see, does this help me or does this not help me? Like, probably the best prime they ever put in the game, and it's been watered down now because they put so many other stuff in the game, was when these came. Let's see, I got trade. Why did it go to the freaking treasury? Oh, I push build instead of research. Okay, so when this came into the game, these these were multi-layer primes, and now they got the dolomite. You can buy the dolomite and get these for free, but that's the reason why they're for free, because they're probably so watered down that they don't make a difference anymore with all the new stuff in the game. And these were game changers right here when they first came into the game. This is probably the most money I've ever spent on any prime in this game, was on both of these. That's why now I can go into this, having, if I have enough blueprints, I can get a G4 ship and build it in the same and tear it out in the same day. But with just stuff I have. You can almost do a G5 that way, especially if you haven't done one in a while. Most likely you will be able to, but that's not a given. But anyway, so you have to really go in here and say, hey, does this thing help me? Because it doesn't always help you. Let's see who this is. Oh, I like that guy. He's a cool dude. Even though we're kind of trying to recruit him for this alliance that I'm in right now. We're kind of we've got them hard row. I bought the agony booth and tried to tear. Here we go. I'm gonna put this in here. This is what this new program can do, and that's pretty cool. It would, so Yeah, so yeah, I felt the same thing about this stupid artifact. Let me go into the artifact tree. I guess it'd be easier. No, yeah, it'd be easier just to go through the artifacts here. Is it this one? No, it's one like that. I gotta find it here. This one, this is it. I think this is it. Oh crap, it won't let me tell. It won't tell me what it is. Okay, I gotta go into the art tree. Now they actually, after I made such a big deal about it, I'd made a big deal on it online and on Discord. They actually changed some of the wording in this thing. Uh, let's go inside. Artifacts. Let's see if we can find it. This one would be a temporal one, so it's going to be the one that tiers out at 12. This one, I think it's this one here. Yeah, see, look at this. It says at tier 12, but at tier 1, it was supposed to be like a million. And or it's either a million or 10 million. I can't remember what it was. But that wasn't even enough to kill one level of hostile higher. What kind of crap was that? You know? Yeah, I felt scammed too. I've tried to get my money back. They wouldn't do that. But like I said, I almost got banned in Discord, their Discord, because of that. Because I was angry because I hated the loop. I hated the loop so much, especially the early days when those cubes were a piece of craps. You know, the cube for you guys that are newer, lower players, the uh, uh, the cube's a piece of crap until you get to like tier 13. Then you can actually, depending on your server and where everybody's at, then you can actually use it for PvP. But before that, it's not real good. I mean, when some of the content traders were talking about how awesome that ship was going to be, how awesome that ship was going to be, and they pretty much sold us right, it's going to be great out of the box. Well, no, it wasn't. And still, like if I got a Titan that's my Titan there, I can take that up there and crush one of those battles with a regular battleship. Like I could probably take this bad boy and take either one of these. Right now, I don't have it crewed good enough to do it, but if I did, then I could probably use my 70 battleship here to get its counterpart here. You know, but but when you see these guys who had this, I saw a guy yesterday in arenas. He had he had it completely finished, and it was like 170 billion. But my buddy with his Kretschner, that was I think like I said, I think his is tier 16. He was able to clean its clock, and it was like 50 billion lower than what his chip was. You know, he had one. I don't know if it was either 100 million, I mean 100 billion or 98 billion or whatever. But he's able to go out there and clean its clock. But he had nothing for that guy's Kretschner though, because that guy's Kretschner was completely tiered out. You know, at 18. And if you don't know, between these 70 ships, the the Kretschner is the king. The Enterprise E is okay, but I've been disappointed with mine. I can be honest with you on what it could do. I got taken by a Kretschner I shouldn't have. But then again, I was some guy sent this ship after it, and it should have killed that one, and it didn't. For some reason, I don't know why, and that goes all the way back to the Epic 34. The Romulan battleship is usually the weakest of the three ships, which really makes zero sense. You know, it makes zero sense that it is. But we all because I remember the early days and when we had like the guys that were the huge spenders on our server early on. They all had enterprises and they were all like tiered out, and all of us were just barely getting our faction ships at that point. And uh, we just would hear these guys say, I'm going all ROM, so when I get up there, I can get that auger, and I'm gonna crush me some enterprises. Well, dude, that didn't happen. And no, I was able to crew my D4 and crush some enterprises with it, even though I was going against the triangle. But the crew that I use now is obsolete. I used to stick in my D4. Let's see. And you know what I can do? I can stick it because I've got it in this one here almost. I got that crew sitting in the Volux. Here we go. Let's see if I can find Tilly. And this is before lower deck. This is for anything. This is for strike team. Strike team killed this crew. Where's Tilly at? I'm gonna go. I don't know where she used to be high enough tiered where I could find her enough heartbeat. I'm gonna go. Let's go. Name. Yeah, she used to be on my preset. Believe me. There she is. There's my gal. This crew right here used to be an Enterprise killer in a D4. No, what you wanted to do. You had to stack your bottom with health and defense. So because the way that Tilly and Marcus work off is the defense and her on the health. So you'd get put your like I would probably put, but those days I probably would have put. Let me pull all these off. This is how I probably would have stacked it back then. So I'd go strength. We didn't have Mavry in the game. We didn't have this guy in the game. So forget those. So I'm just gonna when I do this, I don't screw up the rest of my ships. I'm not gonna say push confirm. And so that kind of levels out all my stats. Let's go ahead and put the D. Well, let me go ahead and go out of this, and I'll put my D4 actually on here. Discard. Let's switch it. See now, I know that you'll hear a lot of content creators say that PvP is broken and all this stuff. No, it really isn't. What it did with them putting all these new PvP officers in it, it actually makes you have to uh, think you get puts this kind of crewing back in the game, which the strike team took out, where you sit there and you experiment on certain ship against certain ships and stuff. Okay, let's get Tilly back. Again, we're gonna go name so I don't. she got kind of buried with all these newer officers being stronger than her. Okay. So then I would put Grush right here. And then I would look at my stats and I would sit there and go defense. And I would probably put her, but she's on a away mission. I would have put her back in the day underneath. I'll put him instead. That, then go with the next guy, then go health, and I would just stack them. No, I used to put Nero. See, Odo wasn't in the game yet, so I can't use him. And uh he wasn't in the game either. Let me pull him out. Eunice, I used a lot back then. And let's see. Go defense. I would have put probably him in there because I don't think I had Spock yet. Because we came in the games, that arc was long. That was like one of the first arcs in the game. Those those officers were really hard for us to get. That's why I kind of feel sorry for the guys that are coming in here. So this is what I would do. I'd have it stacked with health. Reason why I would, because if you look at Tilly's ability, um, 50% of the total defense of all the officers on the ship. That's her captains. And then here, the total health of all the officers on the ship, cumulative. So you would stack health, and I might go ahead and, like I said, I don't know if I had these two officers. I'm gonna take them out. I did have that one. I had all these for sure. Let's go back. My DeGiorgio wasn't high back then, so I probably had Mud. And let's go health again. And probably Charvanik. I probably had her in there. So you can see I got my defense stacked, my health stacked. And the same thing with Marcus. Marcus Shady Endeavors increases 116% of the defense of the crew of the ship. So they're dependent on the lower decks. And then Lorca's just good anyway. He's still good right now. You know, at one time, Lorca was one of the best. Him and Honor Guard Worf were the two best officers on the game back then. So, so I was crewing like that back in the day. So when we got the strike team, when any idiot could just throw the strike team in there, and it was just whose strike team was higher. And then they came out with a lower deck, and the lower deck kind of changed that, where you could go ahead and start putting lower deck stuff in there. Then they brought the Freeman crew, which was a crew to go against the battle, the strike team. We're gonna discard it now, and we'll stick our other ship back in there. God, man, I got so much research now that this sucker is almost 90 million. Oh my God, what I would have done with a 90 million, 90 million D4 back in the day. Oh my God, I haven't pulled this bad boy out in a long time. I can't believe it's up with all the research in the game. It stacked that ship that high. Oh my gosh, you know. And let's go back. I think it back in the day it was like 3 or 4 million. You know, and it still was. You thought that was high. To me, in a way, the game was funner back then. You know, we used to have a ton of fun, man. We would definitely gang up on the higher players in the game for fun. Okay, see, like I said, I usually was getting like anywhere from 122's kind of been like the average. I got two more that time. So that gives me, like 5,400 of the loop, and I get another box, which is going to give me probably like close to 1,000 more, 1,200. Okay, now I go into the faction store. Let's go to Augment, and then you use this loot to buy this mission right here. And there is one called the Nightmare, and the reason why it's not showing here is because I couldn't defeat it. It's on the same level as those new survey ships that are in 70. I'm gonna have to. I just wanted to get this done, so I'm gonna have to figure a crew to beat it. I don't know if I can. I don't know if my Kretschna is high enough that I can do that. Okay, I got a pull. Let's go ahead and do it. Hmm. When's this come up? 17 hours? I might just wait so I can get a full pull because this has got like a three or 4 day uh cooldown on it. I'd rather make a full pull than because I've got so much of this epic stuff I'm from doing this grinding I'm doing now because that's the primary one that I'm getting. So you can see a full pulls. I could make almost 10 days worth of pulls. Let's look at some of these other ones. This one will be I can pull common and let's see where I need the uncommon. I need to watch that. So I have enough. Yeah, I got enough to uncommon to make a full pull. Good deal. And the same thing here. I've got 3 hours. I can do a bunch of pulls. I guess I should go ahead and do it. I'll just have loot for the next time. Okay, now you can take that. I'll go in here and get my DeMarco shards here. So I want to do it this way, so I don't have to do a whole bunch of. Here we go, 4. There you go. Then it does that. Let's go ahead and get that mission. Where's it at? Oh, I already did it. Did I already pull it? Champion. Yeah, I did. Okay, there we go. And then you just go ahead and locate. I don't know why I did that. Not just put it in my system. So it parks it wherever you're at. So like that that other one's stuck in the system I was in. You push donate, and then you get 4,000's worth of this insignias. You go back into the faction store, and you find this thing where it says upgrade champion upgrade con, and then you just go 10 chest. Boom. And you go back in there. Someone said they could be putting a cooldown on this. So that's one of the reasons I'm kind of wanting to get this get this guy as high as I can get him in case that is the fact. I mean, you hear rumors all the time. Some of them come true, some of them don't. But it is kind of crazy. I was able to take this officer up to tier 4 in 2 days. So that puts me. I'm a little bit over halfway there. So I'm probably gonna have to make. I'm probably gonna have to make at least 4, maybe 5 more runs to get all the loot I need to. See, the bad thing about it is this also is what you use to buy the shards with to make him higher too. So, all right, let's go ahead and repair, and we'll go right back. What time is it getting to be? 3:33. I'm gonna make this run, and I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna stop the stream, and then I'm gonna probably come back on later tonight and do some more because there is some more stuff I want to do. But you know what? Let's go ahead and do that. I need a break from doing this stupid augment thing. All right, so now we're going to. I'll put my PvP crew back in here. And DeMarco is going to fist to get pulled right back out. Um, Now I'm going to get my cube, my highest cube right now, and I'm going to put my Armada crew in. And then we get my smaller cube, and I'm going to change. I need to save this one for the second cube. I saw a guy that guy that had the highest cube ever see. This was the crew that he was running on the bridge. I've got it that set up that way because I want to see what it does. I thought that was a very interesting choice, putting 7 of 9 there. Uh, his might be a lot. His was probably a whole lot higher tier than mine because I didn't really go after her very hard. But I'm gonna save it. I can always put Lorca back. And I'm using Lorca on the other one too, so I got him free for something else. But that guy, I mean, because like I said, he was like crushing everything with that 170. And this was the crazy. He was running on his bridge. So I'm interested to see how good it is. So we're gonna go now. Now I'm gonna go in there and put Cisco's crew up here for armadas. Now I'm pretty sure I at least got maybe one start for the rare. So I'm gonna send one cube up there and see if I do confirm that I do, and before I waste the jump juice on 2. So let's go ahead and put group, and we'll put him there. I'm gonna go in here and look and see if I got any ones I think that will help me on this armada, and maybe get rid of like him or Barkley over here. I just have them up for stats, and I think this guy. Okay, that's for against hostiles and players. I don't know whether armadas count or not, so I'm not gonna put him in there. Let's say the doctor, I think maybe has. Okay, yeah, we'll put the doctor in here, even though he's low tiered. Um, I don't think Sutter. I think he's hostile only. Uh, let's see, where's Vial at? Definitely gonna put her in there. No, I got her in the other ship. Dang it. All right, we'll just go with that. Let's see. Let's go back and make sure I didn't pull somebody out. Okay, no. So we're gonna go up to 6-star. The rare, we're gonna get a rare up here. I think it's in the 69 system. Your two options here is to either fly a ship into this system and dock, or you can use the jump thing for the cube. And before I got this cube cheered up high, that's what I had to do. I had to dock and then sit and not use the jump system and send the cube in one of my other 6-star ships up here. Okay, how many of these we got? Let's see. I got enough for 2. I wonder what the. Okay, we'll see. We'll see what this does. I'm just curious. I'm gonna do something here I've never done before. I never thought of it. Let's see what happens when you use the cutting beam on one of these, or see if it even lets you. Okay, we'll use cutting beam. Let's see what happens when you do. Oh my gosh! Oh, oh my Lord! I didn't know it would, I didn't think I had no idea it would do that. Oh my gosh, that's cool. It's cool as hell. Have you ever seen it with Shadow? Have you ever seen anybody try that? That's the first time I've tried that. Oh my gosh. Let's see if I can. I'll go ahead. I got to find another target for the beam so I don't waste it. Okay, here we go. I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting it not to do much to it. I wasn't expecting it to kill it. Okay, so we got both of those. Let's see. Did we see what's funny about this one's so strong it doesn't really let that one charge up all the way. Find another. Here we go. All right, let's go ahead and fly them home. I don't know if that one went off screen before I could. They'll still have a no. This one doesn't either. It still does. I messed up on that one. Well, like what I can do is watch it when it flies home and stop it. We'll recall that one. Okay, let's find it, locate it. Yeah, we'll tell it to stop, and we'll get it one in this system. That one must have just disappeared when I was trying to shoot it. I thought that might have happened. Okay, let's see if we got any explorers in here. It looks like we don't. Now I'm gonna have to hit a 67 battleship because the 68s are too strong. What did it do that for? Okay. So now I'm on the wrong one. Okay, now we can send that one home. All right, let's see what we got here. Now we can make our pull in the store, or not the store, into the Alliance tab here. Let's go back. Go here. Yeah, not quite enough to do 2 pulls, but I'm good for the next time this comes up. I'll definitely have another set of directives probably. And it gave me some good stuff. And the one thing we're going to do next, we're going to go up and do some rare. I'm going to go up and do 3 rares. That mission that is cleared gave me that. So as soon as these get back, we'll go into Zindi rare space and run a few of those. I must have enough for. And it's a bug. Go back in here and there's nothing in here. That's from the battle pass. I forgot. I just remembered I had some multi-phasic credit to pull. That's still a long way. Still a long way. Oh man, that's 86,000. Damn. Maybe I might be within 2 pack range of being able to do this if you count the multi-phasic credits too. But that's freaking ridiculous. And believe me, I've got the efficiencies out the wazoo. I'd hate to know what that would look like if I didn't have all these efficiencies. Oh, let's see. Let's go into. You know what we can do while we're waiting for. We can go up and update con. I got a bunch of those right now. Man, it's hard to figure out what you want to do here. Decreases the combat stats of all the bridge crew on your enemies up for 6 rounds. Now I know where all those guys got all those points. Because I bought 2 packs of his points. So I could get some of these major ones. The one that had the shred. This one maxes out the. I'm looking through all these. Let's see, what is this one? I think this is warp. Increases your absolute damage attacking player station. That wouldn't be worth it. I don't think I'm going to do it now though. Oh, interceptor, damn, yeah, sure. Okay, let's see what this one is. That's probably the one I'll do next. Not like I'm not going to get a whole bunch more of these here. But you can see I've already did major damage to this. He might be, because of this whole mechanic here, he may be the easiest one of these guys to finish, believe it or not. That's what I usually do. I'll go through here and these ones where you have to select one of them. Burning, okay. I didn't really pay attention to this when I was doing it because I needed it to. The one that I cared the most about was uh, I was doing this when I saw, oh man, I'm going to use up too much of the credit, so I took this only up to 5. But I'm going to go ahead and upgrade it. If your ship has morale, okay, that's not what I want. This is the one I need to select. When your opponent has hull breach, since that's what my interceptors are going to do, hull breach. Now, if there's one here that had uh, assimilation, that helps my other correction now. So this one will be one that the two that I'm going to work on next is going to be this one and this one. Let's see what these are up here. Decreases for 8 rounds. When you are mining with your surveyor, that's one for like an anti-roach one. When you land a critical hit on a non-armada hostile for 3 rounds, this ability can stack. That's a good thing right there. That means that this is going to work with all the other research you got. Thing that we're talking about a while ago. So that's a decent one. So there's so many good ones in here to choose from. I don't think there's a wrong way to go. The ones you can see, the ones I maxed out first was the Apex Shred stuff. And then I started going in here. This one had Hull. This one here, another damage one. This one's interesting. Right now I'm not raiding that many people. If I started raiding people again, I would definitely. This was one to be important. And this one here, to be quite honest with you guys, when I'm PvPing, I don't max fortify that much. That's why I didn't. That's why it's only took it up to tier 11. But it seems like that's a good one to have. Because usually when I'm going out looking for people to, I don't. It's not like you can say, okay, I'm gonna max fortify and I'm gonna kill like 5 different people here. Well, you end up having to hunt, and by the time that you pulled out your ship, max fortified yourself, and went after the guy, he'd probably be gone. So I don't do that very often now. I can see like if you're gonna go after some guys in some territory defense, max fortifying yourself before you go into the system. would probably be a good idea. Yeah, one of my YouTube followers wanted me to talk about PvP, and I'll tell him the thing with it. There's too many variables, and oh, and I'll just show you the ones I can show you. This, your crew, how high they are, who you have lower deck, and these new uh, forbidden technology and these chaos tech. And there is a reason I got these two together because they work together. And some of the other ones do too. You just have to figure out which one does the most damage. The same thing with the lower decks. You look for lower deck officers that work off of this. The only thing that you're not going to see on your bridge crew is the isolitic damage. You know, something like a DeMarco or Seven or whatever. Um, Now DeGiorgio got Apex Shred. I would put her in my best ship. Her lower deck ability goes against players. Her upper deck, her officer ability is against hostiles. That's why you see her in my bridge crew when I'm going after these um, augments. Now, since the apex barrier is in the game, most of the time your opponent's going to have it. So having a officer like her at the bottom definitely will help you. And then it just depends whether you're an interceptor. Does this lower deck officer work off morale? Does this, like when I'm in this interceptor strike team, does these lower deck officers work off a hull breach? And then there are other factors like this building right here. The research that you favor down here, does it help your best ship? Yes or no? Because it does. It has three choices down here: hull breach, morale, and burning. Well, burning is going to be for your battleship. Your morale is going to be for your explorer, and your interceptor is going to want hull breach. So uh, you're going to have to do both. You know, I've got mine pretty high. You can see I've got my burning because the reason why, because it's cube, Rotaran, and now my Kretschna. Yeah, I mean they're both important for both PvE and PvP. Um, but you got to read what the officer actually does. Does he help? Like there is like Pella that on what you read on the description says that she's only good for you think by the description she's only good for players and not hostiles, but that's not true. And you just use those to the best of your ability, and you go. I mean, you have to just test these crews out on. You got a free you got a free mechanism every Monday. You can go into the combat arenas. You might get your get killed. But what you do is you look. When I was an early player, when I was going against guys that were 6 and 7 ops higher than me. When ops 39 was when it was locked out, when I was like 31 or 32, going against their enterprise with my uh like my Burrell or something like that, you know. Or when I got my D4, I had this. What I would do is even if I lost, I would always go to this one of these, and I would look at this battle log, and I would look at the battle log. This one doesn't give you much information because I killed it in one round, but most of the time you could see, okay, did I do more damage to this guy this time than last time? And then as you build up and get closer to the guy and deal, you got a better chance to. Let's see if how many. Let's go back. See if I killed him in one round. Hope I didn't, but yeah, I did. Let me see if I can find something I didn't kill in one round. Let's go back to those 36 these hijack legionaries. That'll probably give me a decent battle log. So that's 3 rounds. So you can see my Janeway, DeGiorgio, Crosby, Nurse Chapel, E. Troy, Torres, and then you can see my quantum slip drive. And here's what the Legionary does to me. And you can look at all the hull damage. And then it looks like that the way this thing is set off, that they're getting, even though you're attacking it, they're getting the first shots. You see me proc, and now you're seeing me go. Where's my damage at? Yeah, this has got to be broke because it's not like it's. Here's round 3. Yeah, these are broke. It's not showing what's happening. Let's see if I can find something else in my. Their damn logs are broke. Okay. Let's see if this one's broke or not. Okay, now you can see right here my Revenant. You see what kind of damage did I take, and you can look at all the stuff, and you can see I got all these criticals coming up through there. I guess it only went one round. Yeah. But at least it's showing stats. The other one wasn't showing any stats. But you look through these battle logs and you look and see, okay, well, what did that officer do for me? And what did this other one do for me? If nothing, then you need to change a different officer. See, I can look through that list and see which one of my specialty officers I put below deck or whatever actually procced and did some damage to the uh, player or the hostile. But anyway, so that's about as much as you can say because there's just too many variables. I can't just tell you to put these X players below deck and this bridge crew because it varies. Because I can have the best crew in the world, but this guy's got. I don't have any forbidden technology in my ship. He's going to clean my clock. Um, and then he could have everything in the world, and that is like what I call a credit card cowboy who bought everything, bought all the shit, bought his reputation, bought his ops level, bought everything, and he doesn't have any research. Um, that happened. That happened maybe like a couple, maybe like the third or fourth week of combats. I went against a guy that had probably Enterprise. He had an Enterprise E about where I got mine, like in the 30 millions, and I cleaned his clock with this Volox. That should not never happen. Number one, I'm going against a triangle, and well, I mean, I literally used this Volox to kill anything he was sending out of his station, and never never died in the whole combat arena, 5 minutes or whatever it was, and so he's messaged me because he can see me now from the uh from the battle log thing. So he messaged me, "You're cheating, dude. I'm gonna report you to Scopely." And I said, "No, dude, no credit card cowboy. You don't. It's called research." And but there's so many variables. There just really is. I wish if there was a way I could do a in-depth tutorial that would work one size fit alls to everyone, I would have already done it by now, because that would be probably the most viewed video I would have on YouTube. But there's just way too many variables. I could tell you a crew, and if you don't have the research done, or you don't have your forbidden technology, or you know some of your buildings are low. Like the one that I need to work on is this one, because this is a key building, but they just don't run the event enough, and I just don't want to buy the crap for this. They don't run it enough for us to do anything with, and but this one does major help. So where I'm at right now, goes up into 60. I think it does. Yeah, 60. And that's one I need to work on personally, is this building. But I've been too busy trying to help these, get my ships where I want them to be. And pretty much, probably, if they don't start running this thing in a little bit more often, which they're not, because there's too many crybabies when were going to enter. They were going to actually going to run this event like 2 times a month, with a PvP event where you could work on this, and it got scrapped because of the crybabies. And but that's a building that's where I'm weak at right now, is this building right here. And this one too needs some love, but I do have a drip that I can sit there and upgrade that. This one doesn't have it. And then you see it every once in a while. It'll be spreads, just a tiny bit will be put in the I think there might be either one. There's some in either the territory pass or the battle. No, I guess it's in the territory one. Yeah, right there. Yeah, I know I need to do this. I usually wait and see how much I engage with going into the defenses, because you got DeMarco in here. That's the shards over there are worth just for that. And earlier for me, these would have been worth doing it for too, but right now they're not, because I don't need them anymore. And it does have some of these artifacts, which most of them I've already got. Now the Borg Queen Remain one will be good for me, because I don't have that one tiered out, but most of this will be decent. I don't need these anymore because all it's going to give me is those shards, and now that's okay. Is that relays? Okay, then that's something that's hard to source. So this one's not. This for far the territory capture one. This one's one of the better ones I've had in a while. In fact, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go ahead and bite the bullet. See, the mirror data is the one that hurts me that because I got him tiered out. So those are all go multiphasic. I mean, not multi, but transporter patterns. Okay. And I have to wait for the next one of these. One of these will probably come out tomorrow. They don't have territory defenses on Tuesday, so they'll probably wait till tomorrow to put a new one in. All those are patterns, man, or not patterns, but those whatever those little things that you get. There's a couple in there I don't have tiered out though. Okay, let's go into my refinery and we'll go in there and see. Oh, I need to pull these. I don't know where I got this G5 stuff. Must have been from one of the pools. Yeah, definitely didn't do any G3 stuff. Okay. Now, where they missed the ball on this is kind of cool where you can do the converter. But what we really needed in the game was a way for me to convert all my grade 5 to grade 6. And the same thing, because what I would have done if they would have made it to where I would go all the way down to my G3, make it G4, then take all my G4 to G5, and then all my G5 to G6. So we could get rid of all this backed up stuff you can't do anything with. But again, it's one of those things where they got a good idea, but they don't realize what they could actually do with the idea. Now I have used it to convert something when I needed like 1,000 to make an upgrade, but pretty much it's that's not something I'm going to use very often. But like I said, I'd be doing that every day. I'd be converting those every day if they were able to go. Hey man, how you doing? Um, so I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but uh, I'm running a new software. This is one for the Mac. I've been using OBS to stream, but I'm using a one called Ecamm, and what it's doing is allowing me to stream both on Twitch and on YouTube at the same time. Well, OBS you could kind of do that, but you had to go through a third party uh, software to that, or when you were done, you just export your Twitch stuff into YouTube, and that's what I had been doing. And but it was a pain in the butt, and so I decided after watching some stuff on YouTube about it, and I was getting tired of OBS had a little bit of a was a little bit buggy where I would set my audio levels and get them where it sounded really good to me, but then when it got to you guys, the music would be too loud or whatever, but I barely got the music toggled up at all. And I would get it right. I'd put my headphones on and listen to it off this feed, and I'd get it right, and then the next time I'm on, it's all over again. So I got tired of that. And right now, I'm still trying to figure out the best way to do that on this one. So right now, I won't have any of the music, but I don't know if it was you, Moon, that asked where I got those songs. Well, those are ones I wrote. They're not ones that are. I've thought about making them available on iTunes, but I don't know how many people would actually want them. But anyway, but I do like the way that this mixer situation is for it, because it looks like my audio levels are a lot better through this software than it is through the OBS, from what I'm seeing on the meter at least. And it makes it a lot simpler. I do have a couple of YouTube videos I need to um, edit and put on there, because basically on YouTube I've got the stream, and I also have just like my regular videos that I do. And there was one guy, there was one YouTube person that was watching one of my videos. He didn't like the music style that I was using, and and I said, well, it's my regular videos I don't use music at all because they're more teaching videos or whatever. But when I'm playing like I'm playing right now, I like to listen to music. But if I could play, unfortunately, there is a way in OBS, but it sounds like it's too good to be true, and I'm not going to do it. Supposedly, you can stream regular music on it, like if I wanted to play Guns N' Roses or something, but you couldn't save it to the video on demand part of it. In OBS, I could tell it to put something on my stream and something else on my video on demand than on Twitch. And it was something I've thought about doing. And that's kind of the reason why I kind of went down this rabbit hole, because I was trying to see, okay, yeah, is there who else is saying this is okay to do? Because to me, it's not worth getting copyright strikes. That's one reason I went and wrote my own songs. So there's no way that they can, because one time my first iteration of doing this is I went on a site that had royalty-free music, or in loops. In this case, it was loops. And I bought the loops and used it on my channel. That was, and you know, I'd go into GarageBand and lay down some bass and drum stuff, and then would find like a guitar lick that I liked, and then what I would usually do is I'd put it through an amp and then change the key of the song, and sometimes even slow the tempo down to match what I wanted it to do. And so it'd be like pretty much my own creation after it was done. And we started getting like these accounts overseas. They were going in, buying these these loops and then going, there's like a thing online that you can sit there and I can't think of what it's called, but you can sit there and run it through there, and then it's kind of a digital thing that like YouTube and other places uses. And I started getting copyright strikes, and I'd have to go online, uh, fight it, and then the I let that company know, and then they put out a little waiver saying, "Hey, these songs were made by royalty free, that no one could claim these for." And I didn't either. I didn't even though they really, I mean, I changed almost everything about the little loop that I was using. Um, it was my own creation at that point, but I didn't go in there and try to claim it because I got it from a loop. And so what I ended up doing was I said, okay, uh, let's do something different. And I wrote a bunch of instrumentals to start with, and then I found some AI tools and was able to create my own AI band. And when I did that, then I started writing lyrics. Started writing lyrics and uh, doing some stuff with it. It's still playing my bass on some of the stuff, and it ended up being really cool. And it still is cool, but um, I would still like to play Guns N' Roses or Alice in Chains or Soundgarden or whatever, just whatever I felt like listening to that day, or Pantera. You know, I mean, I love, like when we used to go attack defenses. I used to crank up Apricot Destruction and roll with that sucker. But it's just one of those things that, let's see, what else do I have to do? Oh, yeah, I need to do some Zindi. Let's go ahead and do some Zindi Armadas real quick. And then I'm going to end the stream, and I'll probably come back on tonight. I need to get something to eat. Because I'm going to try to get this officer to tier 4 tonight. And all I need is to get the loot enough to do it. Okay. We're going to go ahead and jump. So you guys don't have to sit there and wait for it to fly. Okay. So my rule here is for if the guys in my alliance can get here in 5 minutes, they can get in. If they don't, I'm going to go ahead and speed it up. So I'm going to do 3 of these. I'll wait and see if anybody calls out or they got 5 minutes. Because I can solo these with this cube, so I don't really need anybody's help. And then I get all the loot. But I got a feeling I won't be alone. Now, if I do this late at night, sometimes I'll be alone up here. So some of you guys that are in channel now, man, tell me what up level you are and what ship are you working on? Right now, I'm just kind of using I'm building 2 more miners. I'm building the Klingon one and one Romulan one. I'm kind of just letting my Fed credits grow. Then after I finish these two ships, then I'm just gonna let that sucker grow until we get to G7. But what I want to do is I want to build an extra 68 ship that I'm gonna put the scavenger ability onto it and let it and put some of the stuff I got on my amalgam like that forbidden technology. I'm gonna take it off of the amalgam and put it on uh, my ship there. So far, so good. But I'm gonna start seeing the NX-01s come up here anytime now, probably, and that kind of bugs me. But a lot of those guys know how I feel about that. I don't. If they want to come up here and start one and need help to finish it, I don't have no problem with that. But I do have a problem if they don't have a ship that will help me. You know, I do. I think that's loot stealing myself. Now, if they ask, say, "Hey, can I jump in?" Most of the time, I'm going to say yes, but you got to get here within whatever. But when they just show up with their NX-01 or it's one of their gimmick ships that got the warp range, I don't really like that. And let's see what we got there. Okay, that'll at least help take some damage. I don't get much damage anyway, but at least he's trying to help me out here. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they got 40 seconds before I go up on it. Let's see. Now I wish you had the ability like you do in wave defense where if a guy jumps into your armada that you don't want, you could just sit there and bounce him. Okay, now we can speed it up. So I'm going to do three of these. While I'm doing three, that gives me the G6 pull, a full pull for the G6. Because what happens here is they didn't put G6 stuff in the rare armada pool, so you get a token where you can get a single pull. So you need three of them to get a full pull. Let's see if they got there's the loot ship. I'm gonna pull that one. Where is it? It's trying to get on top of that one. We'll see if I got the right one here in a second. I got two beams, so yeah. Okay, that gives me a token. All right, let's find the interceptor. Wow, I don't even see an interceptor in this system. I don't think there's one right there. See if I can find me. There's an interceptor there. I'm doing that for the parts. I can't believe there's. Jeez Louise. Well, I want to go ahead and get this battleship. I want to just pull one of those because I'm going to go ahead and speed it up. So I can be done with it. Yeah, what I hate is when you got people who've never done that research. You have to sit here for 15 minutes, even when it's full. Okay, so we're good there. So we pull this thing out and get our loot. There's the token I was telling you about right there. I'm killing that survey. All right, let's go into the free gift. What is this? Yeah, I don't even need those. Okay. I guess I could use it on that one. Artifacts. Now I can see tomorrow when during the alliance terms, I'm gonna pull these things. I won't. See if that gave me enough to tear that up one. Might have. Yep. Gosh, I went like 3 tiers on that just today. That's a good little thing because you really don't have to do anything for it, but just play the game and it gives you some decent parts. There was one, when I was doing a lot of upgrades one day, doing a lot of research. I almost went through the whole thing in one day. I know I've done at least 3 tiers of this today. Not, let's see. I don't know if you saw that in the story, though. There's a bonus battle pass, and pretty much for 19 bucks, it gives you all this at one time. It unlocks everything, even if you, like, on the real battle pass, I'm right here. Almost gave me enough shards to take McCoy to tier 2. I'm like 3 shards short, I think. Yeah, 3 shards short. You know what? I need to go up here and tear this guy up. I think I'm going to use some of that loot to do it right now. Well, how many? He needs 9. The one that I want to do tear up next is her. So I don't know. I don't know. I think I want to wait until I see how many I got. Then I can come down here and I'll maybe do some of these rares instead. Because I definitely would like to do Troy up. Would like to do him up more, her, him, and him. He's not in that store, so I don't really have a choice on that. But uh, we go. Let's see how much the loot I've got right now. So I've got enough to make a 5 chest pull here. Let's go and look at the. But then again, I also have enough to make a 10 pull here. Let's go and see who else is. Okay, we're talking about. Trying to figure out where that one was. Oh, I got section 31. Okay, that's not going to make it close. But I do think I got enough to do him up. Where's the other dude at? They didn't put the other guy in here. They got one missing one. I wonder why they didn't put him in there. Huh. This guy here. He's not in the store. Maybe this is why, because he's an Apex Shred officer. He's exactly why they did that crap. They're probably going to try to sell him again. I bet you anything they do before the arc goes off, they sell him again. And that's the reason why he's not in the store. Yeah. You know, when he was in the store where you could buy him, I was kind of broke. Because I just tiered up this one. Up another tier. When I think I tiered it up and I got my shield and my armor done. So I was on the broke side. And I was gunning for Giorgio anyways. So, but I bet you anything else they're going to sell him again. That's the reason why they didn't put him in here. Because it's, you can, if you go in here, well, I mean, you go in here, and you see that these rare officers, they're 13,000 for 10. You go in here, you buy this pack. You buy this pack for 99 bucks. That gives you 160,000 of these tokens. Well, that's going to give you more than 100 shards for that officer. So you could take those things up really quick. Yeah, I would have used it on him if he was in there. I just saw that he was really close to being tier 2. I said, oh. And I think I unlocked him during the game. I don't think I even spent $49 to tier him. I guess you can see that because I think it would be tier 2 if I would have bought one of those packs. Well, anyway, I'm going to be on later tonight. Tonight I'm going to come back and do some more augments. I'm going to do my dailies, and I'm going to let's see if there's any other events I've missed. Let's go into the events. Battle Pass is done. Cons challenge is done. Evolving enemies is done. Did my wave defense last night. I think I got 2 more pulls, and I get this, and I hit that last milestone that unlocks the other one. That's going to give me yeah, it's going to give me about 60,000 of those. That's more than 50. So I can do some major damage on one of the rares. I just got to figure out which one I can do that I want to do. Let's go back and look at this again. So I could maybe tear up Mirror Troy. Let's see what Zeb does again. I want to start over round Zeb. Here's a member safer. Random state. Enemy for 3 rounds. Below deck. Against interceptor hostiles. So I guess you could stick him in a explorer and he'd be halfway decent. This is kind of a weird officer ability, but gets you the extra apex barrier. Let's go back. But like I said, the one that I really want to do is her. You have captain ability. Yeah. Let's start around, I guess. See, I think you could probably put her in her captain ability. You could put her in a interceptor and put some hull breach officers around her and below deck. And this is going to kick in your shots by 60%. So this is going to kick in. Let's see what her lower deck is. Hull breach as well. It's kind of interesting that the guy would put that in his cube. Maybe that. I think she would be better in an interceptor myself. I don't think he's in there either. No, he's not. So they decided they weren't going to put any of the Apex Shred officers in here where you can buy them. The only one Giorgio is, but you'd have to spend a buttload of money to uh, do anything with her because basically $100 equals 25 shards. And I'm about halfway to tier 4. So I could spend $200 and have her to tier 4. But I don't think I want to do that though. But anyway, there's a lot of options in here, man. This like I said, this arc, I don't like the mechanic at all. I'll be straight up. You probably heard me say it a few times, but this is absolutely the best officer acquisition arc there's ever been in this game so far. Just because of the options. There's just so many options. There's a lot of, man, there's almost no way you can go wrong. Because you've got almost every group in the game. Like I said, we're missing those two Apex Shred officers. Let's see, make sure that I'm right about that. I don't think they would have been. I think they were all in this Voyager arc. It's weird they got the mirror and Strange New Worlds together. I know they were kind of in the same arc because they piggybacked the Mirrorverse right behind the Star Wars, did the other way around. But they were right together, so I guess it kind of. But man, a chance to get, especially you could sit there and if you didn't have her tiered out, man, you could buy one of those packs and with these rares are easy to tear out using those packs. Easy. I mean, it's going to cost you some cash, but you got not like this is that last one that they. This is the first one that I tiered out because she was so hard to get. I tiered out Kara Knightley. I'd had her at tier 4 forever. And I used it to tier her out the rest of the way. They had a pack last, I think it was the last arc, where you could buy two and get like it was like 25 shards or something like that. And I did buy that. But it did come with a bunch of mats. It wasn't just 25 her shards. She had a bunch of mats with her. And you also had the multiphasics. So I got her there, and then I saw that I needed 50 shards to finish her out. I did. That was the first. She was the first one that I did because she's really good. You notice she's on my interceptor now, and once I got her to tier 5, that's where I put her. And of course, you got Boar. See, I don't have him tiered up, but he's too easily sourced other ways that I'm not going to waste this valuable loot on somebody I can get another way. Like if you're just collecting guys, you could. This is a place to get her. She's a hard person to. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't spend it on. There's too many other more. And same thing with Julian. She's a hard one to get as well. But I wouldn't spend it on there. But Let's look at some of these other ones. The only ones in here, the pick officers I've got. The only one I think that was the best one in the bunch was Bev, and I got her tiered out. These are okay, like but 7 to 9, I'm real close on her. You can see I'm within uh what 50 70 shards from being done with her. She's sourced in a few other places. So, but if she wasn't, I would have no problem pulling the trigger and trying to get her finished. Um, I've already got him done, her done, Neelix, Beverly Crusher. All these are done. The only one that's not is the Doctor, and he's easily sourced other well. And then you can get pick Hugh every day, so I'm not going to spend anything on those. The lower deck, we're gonna have Alliance tournament starting tomorrow. Then I'm gonna pick one of these officers here and go to town with them using those deals. And if I could get myself close, now they're in the running too of being one of the officers I might use some of them on. But right now they're too far away to when there's another officer I can tier up. I wouldn't even think about those at all. There's some good ones here. Like I'm really close. I would love to get him completely tiered out. I already told you I'd love to do something with 7 because I do think she could be a valuable officer. But like I said, I thought it was interesting this guy with high level player. The highest level player I've ever seen. He has 7 on his cube. This is a good officer too. I tiered him up yesterday to tier 4. I've got her tiered out. I got him tiered out. I think I got Miss Q to tier 3, French Marshal Q to tier 3, and I believe I got Starfleet Q to tier 3, and Soren at tier 3. And if you're looking for PvE, these are all, except for the Mirror Crew. Pike is really good. Kirk is really good. Sam Kirk is really good. Nurse Chapel's, like I said, one of the best lower deck PvE players, officers in the game. Her and to me, her, Hugh, and Vial, those are the 3 best lower deck PvE officers in the game. And then you got E Data. He's one of the best PvE bridge crew officers in the game, and so on. He was talking about he felt he was scammed because um, he bought what did he buy? He bought something that didn't do what it said. He bought the Agni booth, Forbidden Technology, and he didn't see any difference in it. And I kind of had the same kind of experience when I bought that artifact that was supposed to help the cutting beam. It said I can't remember if it was like 1 million or 10 million. It was an insane number. And I bought it, unlocked it, and Uh, it didn't even help me kill a one level higher hostile. When we were talking at the time, we are talking about Scopely math and how can you say that you can make the beam a million times stronger and it doesn't even affect the hostile any that much more than what it did. We were talking about at the time too. We were talking about looking at research and primes. Like some of the older stuff in the game are circumvented by some of the primes that are in the game, like uh, like the ones that are in the outlaw tree. Uh, like I think I was looking at something a while ago and it said it's stacked. That's important because you could get one of these officers that does this, but you've got all this other research in the game that circumvents his he doesn't help you any because you already got this in forbidden technology or a research that you've done, or maybe even a prime that you've done bought. You do that and it doesn't stack with the stuff that you already have. It didn't, it's like, okay, that didn't really help me out that much. But that's pretty much what we were talking about when he was talking about being thought he'd gotten scammed by Scopely. I sure felt like it did. I feel like it was false advertisement if you could buy but then one of the persons and one of the community managers and because I said like I was so pissed off about that as I almost got banned from the Discord channel because uh but but they were saying that you had to take that artifact to tier 7 before you could bump up one level of hostile. Like if I was could kill a 38 before I bought the hostile, now I can kill a 39. And the real thing that they didn't do that really did what that artifact did was when they right after that they put a prime in there where you could it was a two part prime where you had to buy. The first one was like $49 and the other part it was 100, but it was a multi-layered prime. That actually did what I felt they promised that artifact would do. But but yeah, I was surprised. I don't know if you were on the stream. I actually killed a mission hostile with a cutting beam. One that I shouldn't have. That was bizarre. I was just flying by it because I was doing some rare G6 armadas and I popped it. Well, anyway, guys, I'm gonna go get something to eat, and I'll be on later tonight, probably after 10 o'clock. And until next time.